Hello, my name is Brianna, and I am a registered dietitian and the owner of Nourished by Bree, the founder of the Lifetime of Nourishment program, and a plant-based nutrition expert of 15 years. And I celebrate your interest in this class and your presence here and the step you're taking right now to expand the potential of your future health. After working with hundreds of clients with situations similar to yours, and believe me, I've seen it all, I know that this masterclass can make it clear to you how you can fast track your results through applying some of my best practices that I use to correct my clients' health and weight concerns over the past 15 years. So today I want to give you that chance to increase your fitness, potentially increase your lifespan to help you reach your ideal body composition goals, including fat loss, muscle gain, strength, and even resolve some of those health symptoms that are annoying at best and life-threatening at worst. And I plan to over-deliver information today so that you can be inspired and feel supported enough to live your life to its fullest level of health and happiness. I'm so interested in your success here that you won't leave today without an action plan and a wealth of information so that you know how to fight inflammation at the source and change your life permanently. I'm going to make sure you can see me and the slides at the same time. So just give me 1 minute, how we are going to share this side by side. Great. Okay. First, let's make sure you belong here today. Before I get explaining what inflammation means to your health and aging, we'll make sure this is for you. So are you aware that preventing and reducing chronic inflammation is essential to the health of your whole body? I hope you are. In many cases, it can increase your lifespan and help to make that longer life a healthier one. Perhaps you are worried about the future state of your health for lack of trying or prioritizing it in the past, or simply you're in a place where you value anything that could give you that edge, that could help you prevent future health conditions and make healthy eating a higher priority and an easier task today. If this is you, then yes, you belong here. Are you wondering if the fatigue or fog or slight mental overwhelm with otherwise typical daily circumstances and stressors is going to be the end of you? Eating poorly can make it harder to deal with stress. Our ability to remain resilient and positive through challenging times makes all the difference in the quality of our lives, does it not? This is important no matter what life stage you're in. So if you resonate with this, then yes, again, you belong here. Are you convinced there must be a best way for your health to eat, but are overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there? If yes, then this is the masterclass for you that should clear up a lot of things and be that litmus test to make sure the information that you accept and apply from here on in is going to benefit you rather than confuse and overwhelm you. And are you hoping for a sustainable approach that provides your body everything it needs to live that long and healthy life you dream of? I know this may be life-changing for you, and at the very least, clarifying and confirming some of those things you maybe know, but don't always do, and give you extra reasons to make these choices an integral and automatic part of your life. So let me give you a picture of where you could be if you gave this approach your all. Imagine you wake up every day full of energy, feeling present, living in the moment, and exuding life and vitality at its fullest expression. You can say yes to the things that give you life and give you joy, and no to the things that don't align with your life's purpose and your true self. You are influential and involved in your community and your family and among your loved ones in a way that helps you live your life's purpose and dreams. And you're able to use your energy and your life experience to keep giving back, which is the ultimate state of fulfillment. You are maintaining or on your way to reaching a happy and healthy weight for your body. And people around you notice the changes. You're physically capable to live the retirement you plan for and enjoy it thoroughly with your family and your loved ones. And you then go on to influence family and friends to do the same. And the ripple effects of this are endless. So I believe all of this is possible because I've seen it happen in every life stage with my clients, and I've experienced it myself and within my own family. Many of us are worried, scared, or simply resigned to the idea that we will at one point in our life get a chronic disease or get cancer or heart disease or have a stroke. And yes, we will kick the bucket one day, but I hope that something I give you today will bring you one step closer to being that most healthy version of yourself, being able to check off the bucket list and continue to be able to do the things you love as you age well, by maintaining a healthy weight and body composition, and by eating a nutrient-dense diet on autopilot to accomplish that vivid picture of a wonderful life. So today's agenda is to help you discover the key steps to prevent and reverse inflammation, prevent premature aging, and help with weight balance. I'm going to teach you how to eat to slash your risk of the 4 major causes of early preventable disease, death, and disability. And I want to give you practical steps to lower your own inflammatory load across major organ systems and restore your gut health and your gut bacteria balance to what it should be to promote health and prevent chronic disease, or to treat the underlying cause of the conditions you may already have. Now, for you to get the results you want in the most effortless way, there are a few things that you can do immediately that will help you. Number one, I will be your accountability partner and support person in this journey if you'll have me. I would be so pleased to hear from you and help you if you would allow me that privilege. So for those of you watching on the Zoom and those of you watching the replay, take this opportunity to get an email draft ready, message me on Facebook Messenger or text my business line and let me help you change your life. The links to do that will be posted within the chat on Zoom or down below in the replay video. Another thing that will help you on your journey is to surround yourself with health-forward influences and people who want to improve their health status, just as you do. So joining my Nourished Family Life Facebook group will certainly provide you with that. If you want to take things a step further and you have the space to write right now, I encourage you to do so, to take physical notes on what applies to you, what speaks to you, and what you're going to do with what you've learned today. If you're on the Zoom call today as this is being recorded, please bring me your questions, your comments, your aha moments, or yes, that's me, and your stories, any which way you feel comfortable after the teaching segment. Let me assure you that I come to the table with all my expectations and biases left at the door, and I encourage you to do this too. So the hope is that I can make an incredible difference in your health, and you can take those steps starting today. Before we deep dive into the science, let me back up my statements with a nod to my credentials and my expertise. So for those of you who don't know me or who have only just enrolled into the community, I am Bree or Brianna. I'm a mom of 2, a registered dietitian in Alberta, Canada, and for my entire professional career in the health sector, previously as a personal trainer and for over 10 years as a dietitian, I've been helping clients to deal with their symptoms by lowering inflammation and helping them to get to and stay at a healthy weight through leading science in behavior change so they can live the life they want on their terms and with hope for a healthier future. So I've worked in hospitals and private practice, but this is my passion. I've poured all my energy into creating and spearheading this online program called Lifetime of Nourishment, which members of my community have used to up-level their nutrition understanding, learn how to craft their own meals and eat well on autopilot, and increase health and energy. And I'm always impressed at what happens to people's physical and mental health when they undertake this program and what long-term results are secured by tackling the root cause of the symptoms. But why take this approach? Why is targeting inflammation and trying to slow the aging process going to benefit you? For those of you who are suffering terribly, daily even, with nutrition-related health symptoms or diagnoses, let me reassure you, the worse you are off now, the higher chance you will feel and function amazing very quickly with this approach without that lag period that often comes with dieting, of feeling awful as your body adjusts to a different way of eating. If you're like most people, you're somewhere between completely unwell and completely well. You might be physically drained of energy, mentally and emotionally overwhelmed by not knowing what to do, or just plain too stressed out to plan and take care of your health. You might be dealing with some mild or serious health symptoms or red flags for the start of a chronic disease, or have been living functionally with one or more conditions for a while, but hoping and praying that it doesn't get too much worse. I often hear that my clients in this situation haven't realized how awful they have been feeling until they experience the positive changes that the program brings them. Now, for those who don't yet have obvious health symptoms, but don't think they eat well a lot of the time, let me confirm that statistically speaking, it may just be a matter of time before something shows up. Nobody just simply dies of old age. We die of heart attacks, strokes, maybe accidents, but also organ failure, heart failure, kidney, liver failure, and so on. So I teach you what you need to know to prevent early onset of disease as much as we can, prevent early deaths from these conditions, and sustain a healthy weight, and maintain or increase mobility, vitality, and gain the benefits of healthy eating with minimal risk of falling back to old habits. So let's get to the good stuff. As you complete this masterclass, you will learn how to design your diet around the principles of what I teach in one of the pillars of the Lifetime of Nourishment program called the Whole Foods Way. You'll learn which foods help and which foods hurt your chances at a long and healthy life, so that you can live life on your terms, not as a walking or bed-bound statistic. And this follows along with what I call my fight and prevent protocol. And finally, you'll make an action plan to lower your own inflammatory load across the board by creating a 3-step action plan to keep the momentum going. This I call the lasting transformation. And if you are a visual person, maybe this helps you. So again, the 3 pillars are the Whole Foods Way, the fight and prevent protocol, and the lasting transformation. The pillar that's missing in the 4 is about escaping the dieting mindset and healing your mental thoughts around food, which will be addressed in a future masterclass. I will summarize an entire pile of the evidence with this one sentence. Eating a high amount of plant foods prevents disease. The higher the concentration of whole food, plant-based nutrition, and the lower the intake of animal saturated fat, and in most cases, lower animal protein, the better the results all around and in all 5 of the pathways. So whole foods like leafy green vegetables, flavanol-rich vegetables and fruits, high antioxidant-containing spices, and fiber-rich grains and beans or lentils are statistically proven by themselves to prevent disease, discomfort, and chronic pain, and lower this chronic inflammatory load. And I'm going to explain why. Our body requires essential nutrients like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, water, oxygen, minerals, and other compounds for cell sustenance. AMPK, or AMP-activated protein kinase, is an enzyme that regulates our body's fuel levels and promotes fat burning for energy balance. Enhancing AMPK helps mitochondria function, which leads to burning fat and producing cellular energy. Foods promoting AMPK activity include fiber-rich foods, vinegar, black cumin, and barberries, although barberries are not recommended for pregnant or nursing women, while a fatty liver and certain dietary choices that lead to it can decrease AMPK activity. AMPK also triggers autophagy, which is the process where cells self-flag for deletion to cope with DNA discrepancies or environmental damage. This temporary inflammation, which is crucial for cell survival, clears out dysfunctional cells. Another term, cellular senescence, is the name for how cells are limited to about 50 divisions. Some cells divide very quickly, some divide very slowly, but most have about 50 for their lifetime. When they die, they release a slew of inflammatory chemicals. So together with normal wear and tear of the body, this compromises tissue and organ function and increases age-related disease risk. And it affects muscle mass, kidney function, and also causes drugs like chemotherapy to have more intense side effects. Flavonoid-rich foods like berries, cabbage, onions, kale, parsley, and some teas will aid in clearing out these cells, and they also offer ongoing benefits. So these two pathways are meant to clear out cells that don't function properly anymore and keep the healthy cells fueled with energy. Now, how about protecting the cells from being damaged in the first place? You may have heard of the Maillard reaction if you're a fan of cooking shows. It's what gives seared steaks, crispy spring rolls, and toasted marshmallows their brown color and unique taste. The same reaction can happen at body temperature within us, and it's called glycation. Glycation in the body leads to the formation of what are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, and they promote tissue linkage and chronic inflammation. Limiting AGE intake and opting for low glycemic foods helps to control this. Chronic inflammation, which is reflected in elevated CRP and interleukin-6 levels, if you get the blood test for it, will lead to contributing to the disease, and reducing body fat through calorie restriction or a plant-based approach lowers these markers very effectively. Preventing cancer not only involves managing chronic inflammation that triggers the cancerous pathways, but also involves managing hormonal balance and avoiding environmental toxins that are in food that can disrupt genes. Perhaps you know that nutrition and environmental factors like pollution, hormones, chemicals in the water and air can turn on or off genes, not just damage DNA in cells, but actually work on our DNA itself. And this process is called epigenetics. Turning on and off the right genes to protect and preserve healthy life, or healthy cell life, is a matter of adding molecules called methyl groups to genes, and turning on the right genes that protect the cells and encourage self-healing factors. Turning off the genes that produce proteins that harm us can ultimately protect your health and length of life. We also want to protect our cells and DNA from being oxidized, which you can liken to preventing rust on a car or within metal pipes. And there are foods that provide antioxidant power to prevent this damage just by themselves. There are enzymes within our bodies already that do it 100 times faster, and there are foods that increase the activity of these enzymes. So to promote cell protection and proper DNA functioning, we need to prioritize a plant-based diet rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains while reducing animal protein and fats. You can opt for low salt, low glycemic foods, and avoid high temperature cooked or fried meats and meals to minimize damage. Cooking at lower heat with moisture or using methods like microwaving and boiling can reduce AGE intake. Additionally, choosing foods with low concentration of heavy metals and pollutants will minimize harmful gene expression. So again, besides increasing your intake of whole plant foods to enhance your body's cell protective power, reducing your consumption of inflammatory foods is crucial for your best health. Chronic inflammation hampers the body's natural defense mechanisms, so it's kind of like a firefighting team that's constantly battling fires without addressing prevention strategies. By avoiding activities that accelerate destructive pathways and interrupting the body's protective mechanisms, also while enhancing natural protective processes, you could potentially extend your lifespan by several years or even decades with good health. We talk about lifespan and health span. Some of us will have a long lifespan, but not necessarily a long health span. And here's why. Here's the most common medical diagnoses: high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, and cancer. There's something in common with all these conditions, and maybe you've guessed it by now. All are caused by or worsened and hastened by inflammation. Do any of these concerns run in your family or currently affect you? Are you experiencing digestive issues, thyroid dysfunction, high blood pressure, aches and pains, not necessarily explained by functional movement, energy slumps, or mental health challenges? Perhaps you struggle with maintaining a healthy diet or weight or a healthy exercise routine, which puts you at risk for some of these conditions. And in my Lifetime of Nourishment program, I provide detailed guidance on preventing or managing these conditions. Specific recommendations may involve adding certain foods that are beneficial for one condition but harmful for another. So each patient would deserve personalized attention to address their unique risks and opportunities for improvement. Moving on to our fifth and final method of sustaining cellular health. Rather than relieving cellular stress, this approach involves intentionally subjecting the body to stress to achieve long-term benefits. When you push your body through tough workouts at the gym, your tissues undergo repair and become stronger. And in the same way, we can build resilience in the body for anti-aging and disease prevention by triggering these cellular pathways that make weight loss and managing inflammation easier. This can be achieved by incorporating foods that induce a slight stress response. An example is almonds, and adopting a more intense or regular exercise routine. Obviously, if you are embarking on a new exercise journey, if you are over 45 as a male or over 55 as a female, please consult with your health care practitioner before starting a new routine for exercise. Also, if you have certain conditions or symptoms like being short of breath or losing balance, feeling dizzy, having chest pain, that's a time definitely to consult with your doctor before starting something new. One more thing, how does this all add up to helping you maintain a healthy weight? Maintaining weight involves a delicate balance between energy intake and expenditure, or burning it. Our bodies store fat as a protective measure, but excess energy intake, which is often accompanied by stress, especially in this day and age, disrupts this balance. Additionally, concentrated sources of energy can lead to overeating, and they stop the body from using fuel efficiently and divert energy towards combating inflammation. So by adopting eating patterns that lower chronic inflammation, the body can engage in processes that protect cells, eliminate waste, and burn off stored energy. The shift allows the body to become more efficient, like you would be in the gym if you recover well and go back and pick up a heavier weight. And also it will reduce unnecessary inflammation in the long run, promoting overall health and wellness. Let's take a look at 3 specific categories of foods or steps that you can take to enhance the age protective abilities of your body, which all enlist the help of these life-preserving pathways that I've dived into today. So these may be your 3 gems or takeaways for the day. In the first week of working together, I recommend my clients add antioxidant and phytonutrient-rich foods, which are easy to incorporate, simple to prepare, and highly nutritious. Nuts, including peanuts, are linked to a reduced risk of premature death from various diseases, but it's advisable to eat between 1 to 2 ounces a day to maximum 1 cup a day to avoid excess oxalates, which can interfere with digestion. While nuts outperform vegetables as a whole in terms of longevity, greens like leafy spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, beet greens, and broccoli will match the power of nuts in reducing the risk of premature death, heart disease, stroke, and certain cancers. Berries are a favorite addition among my clients, offering potent antioxidants that rival those found in the leafy greens, and they also provide significant anti-inflammatory benefits. A colorful diet with a variety of antioxidant-rich foods overall helps to combat inflammation from various sources. Your gut microbiome, residing in the lining of your intestines, acts as a supporting organ, influencing your overall health based on the diet it receives. So a healthy gut microbiome is essential to good health as it impacts various body functions. And while probiotics are in the supplement form are widely marketed, the research on their benefits remains inconclusive at best, with many claims lacking scientific evidence. Probiotics can also pose risks such as antibiotic resistance and interference with natural gut recovery. So instead of relying solely on supplements, focus on feeding the natural occurring good bacteria in your gut through a plant-heavy diet rich in prebiotics, which is fiber. And this approach promotes a healthy balance of bacteria and reduces inflammation and supports gut integrity, leading to the production of postbiotics, which are things such as short-chain fatty acids, and those give positive effects throughout the rest of your body because they're absorbed into the bloodstream. Stressful or inflammation-inducing practices or foods can be beneficial for health when approached strategically, much like exercise. Exercise temporarily increases inflammation, but it's during the recovery period that the benefits come to you, making the body more resilient and improving the tissue strength and flexibility, your body's oxygen capacity, and other benefits over time to your brain and the rest of your body. Similarly, consuming fewer calories than what is needed for weight maintenance or practicing intermittent fasting or other types of fasting challenges the body to become more efficient. Lowering your metabolism, which is kind of what dieters shy away from, reduces oxidative stress from food metabolism and actually offers health benefits. So with professional guidance, it's possible to create just enough calorie deficit for weight loss while ensuring adequate nutrient intake for a healthier body composition. So these 3 gems or concepts are just 3 of the 8 powerful changes you can make to your diet and lifestyle to prevent premature aging. Those other 5 pathways are tucked neatly into my nourishment course, where you can learn more about implementing them for optimal health. So some people trust themselves to gather all the information they can on a specific pattern of eating and or add a few foods such as those I've mentioned here today. And yeah, they expect to see great results, but it often does not work out the way they planned. Many clients I've worked with have previously attempted healthier eating habits or weight loss programs on their own, only to experience frustration and negative consequences in the health sector due to overlooking some of the essential factors for long-term success. So while some may initially benefit from dietary changes, reverting to old habits or neglecting key nutrients or mindset shifts often leads to them having setbacks. On top of that, having inadequate support from public health systems further hinders their ability to take the reins and achieve their health goals and live fulfilling lives. Some clients have previously attempted extreme restrictions or elimination diets, which resulted in rapid weight loss or adverse health effects due to the unguided changes. So again, without proper guidance, such approaches, even as this one, can make inflammation worse and pose health risks if you're doing it the improper way, and potentially lead to weight gain or back to your previous weight and then some, and a bunch of unpleasant symptoms. So your situation is unique, and making changes that are lasting and sustainable requires a comprehensive approach and professional support. Simply adding berries or occasionally, incorporating a good few cups of greens will not yield remarkable results. It's essential to adopt an integrated approach and seek one-on-one counseling for your unique situation in order to achieve sustainable and transformative change in your life. So if you're committed to improving your health through nutrition, I encourage you to explore my program's framework and consider joining for personalized guidance and support. Allow me to introduce you to one of my clients who has previously eating a vegetarian diet, but was neglecting to choose whole foods first. He felt lethargic. He didn't have energy for exercise or playing with his young kids, and he was not losing weight like he thought he would on a vegetarian diet. He was not at a healthy body composition. And when we swapped the remaining frequent occasions of animal-derived products, being still a vegetarian and not a completely plant-based eater, we swapped some of those. He ate those most of the time, and he enhanced the nutritive power of the foods he was already consuming. The results were that his energy levels went through the roof, and he changed his body composition to the point that he now runs yearly marathons. And I think he has done at least 3 complete ones from what I know. And that was, I think, 2 years ago. So it's not just getting rid of animal foods or some of the animal foods, but knowing how much is appropriate for your own health challenges and goals, and applying the evidence and the strategies in a way that is completely practical for your life and easy to understand and use in any situation. There are meal plans and programs out there that claim they are flexible, but are in fact very restrictive. There are plans and programs that claim to be culturally sensitive, but seriously lack in flavor and authenticity. And we're left to our own devices after many failed recipes. And then that sense of failure is what drives us back to our old comfort zone and pattern of eating. If you're worried about being restricted in what to eat within this program, don't worry. I have ample experience in creating flavorful, authentic, and healthy recipes. My husband is a chef, so he'll back me up there. We balance food preferences and cultural backgrounds across the entire globe and differences in lifestyle demands, bringing it all together with health-promoting choices. What I teach through the Whole Foods Way, both in the more intensive Lifetime of Nourishment course and the Self-Study Nourishment course, is exactly what models the eating patterns of the healthiest elders of this planet. You may have heard them called the blue zones. They live in the blue zones. And it emphasizes more of the foods that help to slow cell damage or aging and prevent it from occurring in the first place. The goal is that with eating the right foods, you will know how to keep your body resilient and healthy in the face of life's natural stressors and challenges. The Whole Foods Way helps your body to find a balance of healing, repair, and replacement of what doesn't belong, both within your body and within your mental approach to food. It's not just the types of foods that prevent inflammation, it's also the small enhancements you're encouraged to make in your meal planning and preparation. And the mindset you'll have will help you handle those setbacks and celebrate successes in a way that pushes you forward and removes any toxic mental beliefs. So you're free to think about food in a way that brings you the most joy. Now, you still might be wondering how to prevent each of these individual chronic conditions I've noted in the class, but the signature protocol that I've developed can help you address or prevent each one and do it in a way that is completely simple, guided step by step, and introduces only the information you need to know as you become ready for it, so you are not overwhelmed with a lot of information at once. The Fight and Prevent protocol teaches at first the big picture to plant-centered eating, and then narrows into specific nutrients that may be harder to plan for with a plant-centered style of eating, and finally brings in specific foods and food compounds that are not otherwise suggested in the generic healthy guidelines. When you do this in a supportive environment with an educated professional who is ready at all hours to help out with any questions or challenges you may have, the results last you a lifetime, and you become better prepared for challenges in the future, having dealt with them with support once or twice or more, and then having to address them with increased confidence and increased skill set in the future. Take this father of 2, for example. He used to play sports in a professional league, but life events such as marriage, having kids, moving away from his his country of birth to a new country and a new job. He had completely changed his lifestyle, and his priorities had obviously shifted. He admitted to feeling like a ticking time bomb for heart disease, diabetes, and colon cancer because he had a family history of these conditions. He wanted to be there for his family and see his daughter and son grow up. He was fearful of chronic illness and being physically impaired before he could one day possibly walk his baby girl down the aisle. He did have about 100 pounds to lose, and he said it can't come off fast enough, but he wanted to do it the right way because for him, it was about health and not about dieting for temporary results. 6 months after working closely with me, he lost 60 pounds and cleared any clinical evidence of heart and vessel disease. And he was back to playing sports with his friends, getting outside for bike rides and hikes with his wife and daughter, and cooking and enjoying an abundance of new and tasty vegetable-based meals. The pounds flew off the scale, and he was both putting on muscle and losing inches. But more importantly, his health parameters for heart disease risk had drastically improved. He was no longer afraid of getting heart disease. He became confident in his appearance again, and he had reached his potential to be vibrantly alive and well for his family. Could you have a success story like this? It would mean everything if you could make that kind of change happen and keep it going. It takes working with a professional to see the gaps in the knowledge and in practice that are your main roadblocks to success. But once those roadblocks are clear, the benefits pay off and you know how to steer around them if they do come up again. What does a sustainable and healthy approach to nutrition look like for you? You have your own individual challenges, your health risks, your own family and friend circles to navigate, and your own unique and wonderful cultural beliefs and values about food. And today I encourage you to reach for that completely sustainable solution. So let's eliminate the forever and the always arguments as we step forward into this lasting transformation. If you have any one of these thoughts, I imagine they haven't been too helpful with regards to your nutrition or health. I believe we neither benefit from defeat, nor ignorance, nor procrastination when it comes to our health. And so let me tell you, today can be the day that you take that first step to master your health and sign up for a magnificent future. If you've been emotionally or physically limited by one of the voices listed here, I invite you to challenge that voice right now with an alternative argument. Let me bring you two more case studies explaining what going through the nourishment program can be like. Even for clients who have been vegetarian for decades, there have been massive differences in the way people thought about food and what they put into practice from what was learned. And yet, despite the wealth of information, the course content is easy to understand, and I guide you in a stepwise manner. This makes a true and lasting difference in your life because you get the information at a good pace. Another thought to consider is that if you are starting out with exercise, your body will upregulate its appetite to consume more food. And this is where it can get tricky, but where it is extremely helpful to have a dietitian to direct you on what to eat, how much, and when to make changes to your nutrition as you lose weight. So I'm happy to help you decide where you'd like to end up on the plant-leaning scale. We can talk more about what foods you crave and what foods you'd like replacements for, and which foods are untouchable, which foods are culturally or socially important to your enjoyment. Your success is my success, and your happiness with your results is most certainly my own. So I'm excited you're here seeing these stories, and I believe you're here listening through to the end because you need this hope for a better future. I am excited to inform you that this immeasurably valuable change is possible, and it's happening to people within my program right now. My word for the past few years, if I can choose one to describe what I'm pushing for in my own life, is resilience. We can't control what happens to us. We can't direct the storms of life and decide when and how things are going to hit. These impressive trees are planted on the shores of Kauai to stabilize the soil and prevent erosion. Now, they do look quite weathered, but I think they look quite beautiful as well. They seem very old and ancient and wise to me, and though the roots may be exposed to the elements, these trees are very much alive and thriving. So transport yourself into that photo for a minute, escape to the shores of Hawaii with me and that tree, and let's draw some wisdom from nature and sink our roots down deep into what we now know to be true for our health potential and the good nutrition that's available to us. If you are hoping for this kind of resilience in your life, I formally invite you to join my community of clients within the Nourishment Program. And starting just this year, there are 2 ways you can do this. If you would like to apply to be on a one-on-one client with my Lifetime of Nourishment program, I would love to interview you by video conference to make sure we are a good fit to work together, because I have limited spots for this. If you are a self-directed learner, you can sign up right away for the self-study version of Nourishment, which offers all the same written material and online recorded coaching and the goal setting prompts and the space and written space to reflect and receive written feedback from me and my team. Either way you choose to go about it, you can book a free call to apply for the intensive nourishment program, or ask about the self-study program by clicking the Book Now link, and it will take you to a page that looks like this. On the left, the mobile version, and on the right, the computer version. You will select the 30-minute question and answer call, and with that, my deepest desire is that you feel supported from this point onward in your health journey, and that you have all the tools at your fingertips to fully embrace and one day achieve the health of your dreams, so that you can live your longest and fullest life possible and affect change, positive change around your community, and keep on doing the things you love. Be the best version of yourself, for yourself and for those around you. So you'll find links to book that call or sign up for the self-study nourishment course underneath the replay here. In keeping with my final point of my promise to you for what this masterclass would entail, I am prompting you to set 3 actionable steps, however small, and in fact, the smaller the better, to encourage further behavior change once you accomplish these small goals. If you want to know more about the science behind behavior change, you can enroll in the Kickstart to Nourishment program and dip your toes into what I teach about making and accomplishing nutrition goals, which is founded upon leading edge research in behavior change. I have categorized these 3 steps into support, or seeking someone to help keep you accountable, or somebody to help you discover exactly what you need to start with to change. Second, decide how you are going to expand your learning on today's topic or review it in the future so it cements itself in your mind. So for instance, looking for a good plant-based cookbook or a recipe blog, uncovering a new cooking method, or engaging in some more focused time like reading a book or watching a documentary. And lastly, only 1 step to actually change something you are currently doing with your nutrition. So if you look at it this way, I'm only asking you to change 1 thing this week. Typically, I ask people to focus on 3 things and coach them into 100% certainty that they can accomplish these things. But without talking back and forth with you personally right now, this is what I'd recommend. And I do want to speak with you one-to-one about what you've learned today and what steps you're going to take. So again, back to that email draft that you have ready, right? Please take this last chance to tell me how this has impacted you and what you're going to do with the information, not for my benefit, but for your own, so that you stay extra accountable to making some steps in the right direction this week. That is all for today. I really am excited to connect with you by email or on a Zoom call or phone call, and I would be ecstatic for you if you enroll in the Nourishment program for your better future and the results you're going to get with better energy, easier control of weight, and improved odds of a remarkable, long, and healthy life. Here's to resilience and remarkable living. Cheers to you, and thanks for joining me today.